What all we covered? First we covered amendments, constitutional amendment, Article 368, then major amendments, then official language, classical language. So after that we started constitutional bodies also. So when you are reading newspaper or when you are reading current affairs consolidations, so suppose you are reading polity current affairs. Read last year polity current affairs, and when you are reading the current affairs, immediately know the static part related to it also at the same time. So integrated preparation and revision, so that whatever question they ask, you'll be able to answer. Suppose you are reading some polity current affairs, something called right to privacy in the news. Then there is a current affairs, but also no static part related to it, whatever topic you are going to cover. Similarly, for every subject which you read current affairs, so go in the reverse order. Probably from March to last December, how much our time permits. So I told you I'm posting daily in Telegram. Is Educare, if you have seen. So this is Telegram ID. In this polity folder is there separately. So last 1 year daily current affairs which are in the news. So whenever you are free, just go from the reverse date to the previous. So current affairs from daily newspaper, from exam point of view, whatever is relevant is being posted daily. Polity also, economy also, SNT also, geography also, everything is available. So if you are giving this year attempt, see one more things I told, Prelims Themes 2025. In this folder Prelims Themes 2025, PDFs are available, consolidated notes related to various aspects. So whenever you are free, if you are reading current affairs, very good. But if you didn't start current affair preparation till, what you can do, go each subject, read the current affairs, read the static part, read the current affairs, read the static part. But once, suppose polity is over, now when you read the polity current affairs, you'll be able to understand, because already static base is created. So don't postpone the current affairs till last day of the preparation. No. Ideally now polity is getting over. So read all 1 year polity current affairs. Economy is getting over, read all 1 year economy current affairs. So geography is getting over, read 1 year economy current affairs. So whichever subject is getting over, read along with that the current affairs summary also. So you will get clarity of both, because sometimes in the questions, one they're asking from static, one they're asking from current affairs, statements. So we should have static knowledge also, we should have current affairs knowledge also. Integrated preparation only is required. Okay. So non-constitutional bodies, regular repeated question, a regular repeated organization is Niti Ayog. Of course, Niti and Niti Ayog, but we cannot criticize like that. So brief history, if you look at, Planning Commission was established in 1950. Later NDC, National Development Council, was established in 1952. First 5-year plan was started in 1951 to 56. So 12th 5-year plan continued. But January 1st, 2015, an organization called Niti Ayog is established, which replaced Planning Commission. Now sir, why sir? There are two reasons why Planning Commission was abolished. One, Planning Commission is neither constitutional body nor statutory body. It is not mentioned in Constitution. It is not established by law also. Niti Ayog is also neither constitutional body nor statutory body. It is not mentioned in the Constitution. It is not created by any law passed by the Parliament. It is not a statutory body. So answer is neither constitutional body nor statutory body. However, Planning Commission, especially during 11th plan and 12th plan, try to overlap with the functions of Finance Commission, which is a constitutional body which was actually responsible for allocation of funds between the center and the state. Article 280 is Finance Commission. So what is the duty of the Finance Commission? To suggest division of taxes between center and state. This is whose constitutional obligation? Finance Commission. But when Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister, his close friend was Deputy Chairman of Planning Commission, Mantek Singh Ahluwalia. So during that time, 11th plan and 12th plan time especially, Deputy Chairman of Planning Commission was able to get access directly to PMO. Just imagine your friend is not working, your friend is Prime Minister. Just imagine your friend is Prime Minister. Now don't look at each other. One of you will become Prime Minister in the future. So, because of the close proximity, Deputy Chairman of Planning Commission is more influential in allocation of funds to the states. So, Planning Commission, which was neither constitutional body nor statutory body, started overlapping with the functions of the Finance Commission regarding devolution of taxes. Which means Finance Commission is the constitutional body, but Planning Commission is neither constitutional body nor statutory body. But during 11th plan and 12th plan, because of this close proximity, whomever Planning Commission suggests, for them more funds are given by the government. So, it was criticized. Planning Commission was criticized as super cabinet. Which cabinet? Super cabinet, which means it has powers more than the cabinet at that time. So, again, Planning Commission, which is just an advisory body supposed to help in preparation of planning, it used to follow something called top to bottom approach. What's the meaning of top to bottom approach, sir? Somebody is sitting in Yojana Bhavan. Yojana magazine is released. So Yojana Bhavan was the head office of Planning Commission. So there they used to prepare plan from the top level to bottom level. Meaning somebody sitting in AC office at Delhi is preparing plan for the development. So because of these two reasons, and one more reason, it was created during Congress time. That's also the reason. So the opposition party said, we are abolishing Planning Commission in 2014, and in its place, January 1st, 2015, Niti Ayog is established. So what is the status of Niti Ayog? Neither constitutional body nor statutory body. And Niti Ayog has two wings, Team India wing and Knowledge Hub wing. What are these two wings, sir? Team India wing and Knowledge wing. So what is Team India wing, sir? Team India wing is generally related to interface between center and state. So here only one word, cooperative federalism. What is cooperative federalism, sir? State and center, or the group of the states and the center, should work like a team with the mutual cooperation. That's called as cooperative federalism. Irrespective of who is there in the power of the center, who is there in the power of the state, center and state should work in tandem with each other. That is called as cooperative federalism. Now the word, if you look at Team India wing, will try to resolve the disputes between center and state. Even if center announces a policy, who is supposed to implement that? Execution? State. So Team India wing will work as interface between center and state, that is called as Team India wing. Then what is Knowledge Hub, sir? In Niti Ayog, there is a separate division called Knowledge Hub. This Knowledge Hub is the basic think tank. So what is meaning of think tank, sir? So innovation, new thought, new ideas, new policies, new schemes, new scams, all that will come from this think tank, not scams, schemes only. So Niti Ayog consists of two wings. One is Team India wing, other one is Knowledge wing. So this Knowledge wing is responsible for data-driven policies. Look at the word. Data-driven policies. What do you mean of data-driven policies, sir? Simply government should not take any measure or a scheme. Let's study that from the real-time data. What does it mean? Suppose government is planning to give loan waiver scheme. Whom should we give loan waiver? Should we give loan waiver to all the people? Revanth Reddy uncle. So announce some loan waiver scheme in Telangana for farmers. What is loan waiver? You need not repay the loan that you have taken. So should we give loan waiver to everyone? అమ్మాయిలందరికీ ఫ్రీగా బస్ సర్వీస్ ఇవ్వాలా? అమ్మాయిలు అంత పేదవాళ్ళేనా? Should give free service to all women? Bus service? Maybe next elections, free service in train and aeroplane also. Should we give? Chance is there. I mean, why do you think we should not give free to everyone? Only for needy people we have to give. Correct? UPSC aspirants, poor UPSC aspirants only? Yes, for them free ticket should be provided. So give the welfare policy benefit for needy people. Intended beneficiaries should get the actual benefits. Ghost beneficiaries, fake beneficiaries should be removed in welfare policies. Who is a ghost beneficiary? Who is a fake beneficiary? A Muslimah died 10 years before, but every month she is taking pension from the government. Means she is not taking. In the name of her, somebody else is taking the benefit. So what government said? Biometric authentication is compulsory every month. She cannot come. Chandramukhi cannot come and take pension. So what does it mean? Fake beneficiaries have to be removed. Ghost beneficiaries have to be removed. Only the person with necessary criteria should get the benefit, which is called as DBT, Direct Benefit Transfer. That's the reason why think tank of Niti Aayog, which is called as Knowledge Hub, is looking into all this data-driven policies. Again, reports released by Niti Aayog is also important for exam. While reading current affairs, any report released by Niti Aayog also go through it. Principles of Niti Aayog, pillars of Niti Aayog, all that. Who is the chairman of Niti Aayog? Prime Minister. Who is the chairman of Planning Commission? Prime Minister. Who is the chairman of National Development Council? Same PM. Same Panmanshi, same Padamanshi, same powerful minister. So Honorable Prime Minister. Honorable Prime Minister is the chairman of Niti Aayog. So Niti Aayog also contains CEO, Chief Executive Officer, and some ministers also. Niti Aayog also has ad hoc members and temporary members. If you look at one of the document released by Niti Aayog, very, very important for mains. Sir, ఇంకా ప్రిలిమ్స్ రాయలేదు సార్, బట్ ఐ అజ్యూమ్ దట్ యు ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు క్లియర్ ప్రిలిమ్స్. సో అజంప్షన్ మే బీ రాంగ్, బట్ అజంప్షన్ మే బీ కరెక్ట్ ఆల్సో. India @75 is a vision document released by Niti Aayog. What is this document, sir? Last 75 years, in every sector, what happened in India? Consolidated handbook is given by Niti Aayog. India @75. So when India celebrated 70 years of India's independence, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So when India became independent, 1947, 75 years, 2022. So 2022, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav was celebrated. So at that time, Niti Aayog released this book called India @75. Now by 2047, we want to transform India into developed nation, which is called as Vikasit Bharat. Which Bharat? Vikasit Bharat. So next to 25 years, from 22 to 25 is called as Amrut Kal. But Amruta is not taking Kal. Which means 2022 to 2047, next 25 years is called as Amrut Kal. So how can we say that India will become developed nation, dear? By 2047, where you will be? Ashok Nagar only. Cabinet Secretary, Chief Secretary, Principal Secretary, hopefully. Yes? How can you say that India will become a developed nation? Convert young population into working population. Provide them necessary skills and convert this young sleeping population into working population. Provide them necessary skills and make them working population. See, in your family, labor force, people in the age group of 15 to 59 years is called as labor force. Those who are earning is called as workforce. So in your family, how many are in the age group of labor force? All, 4 or 5. How many are earning? How many are dependent? So we belong to which category? So like you, everybody in the family started earning. What happens to family income? What happens to per capita income? That is called as development. So when India will become a developed nation by 2047, if working population is more, dependent population is less, national income increases, per capita income increases, will become a developed nation. For this, one word is used by Niti Aayog. That word is also important. Meaning is also important. Demographic dividend. Demography means population. Dividend means advantage. Demographic dividend means advantage of having young, educated, skilled working population. Young population is okay. But what is the use of young population? They are increasing population. I mean, if you convert the young population with the skilled population and working population, dependent population will come down, working population would increase. That word is called as demographic dividend. Okay? Again, Niti pillars are there, objectives are there, all that. During planning commission time, we used to follow 5 years plan. During planning commission time, we used to follow 5 years plan. Now we are following 3 years agenda, 7 years strategy, 15 years vision document. So what does it mean? Sorry. In the next 3 years, what we have to achieve? In the next 7 years, what is the medium target for Government of India? In the next 15 years, what is the specialized or monitorable target for Government of India? So earlier we used to follow, when planning commission was there, 5-year plans. Now instead of 5 years, what we are following? 3 years agenda, 7-year action plan, 15-year vision document. Meaning, government is telling, and Niti reports are telling, we want to take this many people out of poverty line. We want to reduce unemployment rate to this much percentage. All this. Then apart from that, in case of Niti Aayog, so if you are following the newspapers, Niti Aayog is also suggesting a concept called strategic disinvestment. Strategic disinvestment means wherever government public sector undertakings are not making profits, government should hand it over to private people. So that's called as strategic disinvestment. 100% strategic disinvestment was announced in Air India. Air India is handed over to Tatas. So Niti Aayog reports. So if you look at Niti Aayog, a question is asked. Niti Aayog consists of both full-time members as well as ad hoc members. Yes. Executive chairman of Niti Aayog is Prime Minister. So Niti Aayog is at present following 5-year plan. We are not following 5-year year, we are following 3 years agenda, 7 years strategy, 15 years vision document. Very, very important. Niti Aayog follows bottom to top approach with integrated multi-level planning. Niti Aayog is following bottom to top approach with integrated multi-level planning. What is the meaning of bottom to top approach, sir? First, all the villages come forward and make a block, meaning mandal development plan. All the mandals will come together and make a district development plan. All the districts will come together and make a state plan that is integrated with the national planning. This is called as bottom to top approach. Planning Commission was following top to bottom approach. Niti Aayog is following bottom to top approach. Planning Commission was neither constitutional body nor statutory body. Niti Aayog is neither constitutional body nor statutory body. Planning Commission chairman, Prime Minister. Niti Aayog chairman. Planning Commission is abolished when? 2014. Niti Aayog is abolished when? Still continuing. It is still continuing. Maybe when Rahul Gandhi becomes Prime Minister. But right now, January 1st, 2015. Then one committee is there for Niti Aayog. That committee also important for the exam. Ajay Chibrar Committee. Ajay Chibrar Committee was appointed to improve the efficiency of Niti Aayog. Ajay Chibrar, Chibrar. Ajay Chibrar Committee was appointed. Chibrar. Ajay Chibrar Committee was appointed to improve the efficiency and working of Niti Aayog. Why, sir? In China, there was an organization called NDRC, National Development Reforms Commission. Similar to this National Development Reforms Commission in China, in India, Niti Aayog functioning should be improved, for which Ajay Chibrar Committee was appointed to improve the efficiency of Niti Aayog. Okay? Pro people, pro governance, public participation, pillars of all this. And one of the favorite dialogues of our Prime Minister is the theme of Niti Aayog. What is the theme of Niti Aayog? Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas, Sabka Vishwas. Sabka Saath andarni, Vikas bookshop దగ్గర, Prayas కలపాలి దేనికోసం, పార్టీ కోసం. So Sabka Saath, all together. Sabka Vikas, all should develop. Sabka Prayas, all should put the effort. Sabka Vishwas, all should trust each other. This is the tagline and the theme of Niti Aayog. Whenever our Prime Minister is ending a speech, his regular dialogue, Mere Pere Deshava시yo. So, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Sakshar Bharat, Swachh Bharat, Shrestha Bharat, Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat. So, and finally he is saying, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Vinash, Sabka Barbad. No, that is not there. But Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas, Sabka Vishwas is the theme of Niti Aayog. And Niti Aayog is focusing on inclusive growth, meaning benefits of the economic growth should not be available only for some people. Benefits of the economic growth should be redistributed even for poorest to the poor people. That's the meaning of the word Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas, Sabka Vishwas in Niti Aayog. So this is brief idea about what is Niti Aayog, why it is in the news. Because most of the questions after Planning Commission was abolished, now examiner is focusing on Niti Aayog. Reports released by Niti Aayog also is important. So when you are reading current affairs, any report that is released by Niti Aayog, find out what is that report, why it is in the news. So many reports are there. SDG India Index, Composite Water Management Index, India Innovation Index, then Health Index. So different indexes are released by Niti Aayog. So this is briefly about non-constitutional body. One of them examiner's favorite topic is Niti Aayog. The National Human Rights Commission. So National Human Rights Commission, is it a constitutional body or a statutory body? Sir, if it is a constitutional body, we should have covered all the constitutional body. We did not cover. So, Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. Under Protection of Human Rights Act 1993, we established an organization called NHRC. So, National Human Rights Commission. What is human right? Rights which are guaranteed for all of human beings are called as human rights. Similarly, state government is also providing state human rights. Correct? Universal Declaration of Human Rights, December 10, 1948. So, if you look at Human Rights Commission is a statutory body. What is the purpose of Human Rights Commission, sir? What does it does? What is the chairman of NHRC hold office for term of 3 years or they attain the age of 70 years. NHRC chairman, look at the word. They hold office for a term of 3 years or until they attain the age of 70 years, whichever is earlier. 3 or 70. Again, if you look at respective state government also will create their own. Then there is something called Lokpal Lokayukta. What is Lokpal Lokayukta, sir? Constitutional body or statutory body? Constitutional body or statutory body? Statutory. So Lokpal, Lokayukta. So when it is passed? 2013. So Lokpal Act 2013. So if you look at chairperson not exceeding 8, mostly from legal, mostly from overall will be appointed. But what is the purpose of establishment of Lokpal and Lokayukta? What is the purpose of establishment of Lokpal and Lokayukta? To take action on corrupt officers. Now question is going on whether Lokpal has jurisdiction on High Court judges or not. Current affairs. Whether Lokpal has jurisdiction on High Court judges corruption or not. Court has to examine. Anyway, they are examining, so they will say no, jurisdiction is not there. So examination is going on regarding Lokpal jurisdiction. But if you look at, can Lokpal take suo motu action against public servant? What is suo motu? On its own. Can Lokpal take suo motu against public servant? No. After a complaint is received only Lokpal will act. After a complaint is received only Lokpal will act. What is Lokayukta? State level. So what is the retirement age? 5 years or 65 years, whichever is earlier. So not that much important, but if you look at overall, then there is something called Central Information Commission. Again the word CIC. Constitutional body or statutory body? Statutory body. Central Information Commission was created under Central Government Right to Information Act 2005. Right to Information Act 2005. So under this act, each state government also created its own information commission. So within how many days the concerned officer has to give? 30 days? If not, next level, all that. So why do we need Right to Information Act? See, electoral bonds are declared as constitutionally not valid by Supreme Court because the details of the bondholder were not revealed to the public. Yes? Later Supreme Court said that. Actually in democracy, if you reveal the details, it enhances the transparency. So you are violating constitutional principles. That's the reason why electoral bonds are not valid legally. What is electoral bond? Without telling your identity, without revealing who are you, you can purchase a bond and give that bond to a political party. Within 15 days, that political party will deposit that in the bank account and funds will be given. Your details are not maintained. Your details are not disclosed. That's the reason why quid pro quo. So Supreme Court judgment while using the word electoral bonds is that it appears that there are quid pro quo agreements. Which party or no? Which company got Kaleshwaram irrigation project? Some XYZ company. That company only donated most of the electoral bonds to some XYZ political party. So it's like before elections I am giving money to you. After you come into power, you are doing some favor to me. So that's the reason why Supreme Court said that electoral bonds are constitutionally not valid. Because under right to information, exemption from right to information is available for official and secrets. But what is secret is there in the disclosing the details of the bondholders. So that was Supreme Court perception is. That's the reason why Supreme Court said, come on, release all the list of the details. So when they listed the details, we came to know quid pro quo agreements. So this is called as right to information. Again, if you look at State Information Commissioner and Central Information Commissioner, both they hold the office 5 or 65 years, whichever is earlier only. Now why Right to Information Act is really helpful? Because we'll get to know so many things where public will come to know what the government is doing. Unless Official Secrets Act is violated, you can give right to information. And what is the status of CBI? What is CBI? Closing Bureau of Investigation. Central Bureau of Investigation. So CBI actually is deriving powers under Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946. Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946. So before CBI starts investigation into a state, should state give consent to CBI? Law and order is whose subject? State subject. So if a state does not give consent to CBI, CBI cannot directly take up the case unless and until the order is given by the court. Unless and until order is given by the court. Who killed Babai? Going on? Who killed Viveka Babai? We don't know, leave it. But if court has given order to CBI to investigate, then the case will be passed on to CBI. If simply they want to come and investigate, the state has to give the consent, then only they can come. So it was established under Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. Now apart from that, directly under MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs, but it is not a statutory body. It is not a statutory body, but derives its powers from Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. Again, then CVC. What is CVC? Central Vigilance Commission. So Central Vigilance Commission will look into the matters related to corruption, especially it is established through executive resolution in 2003. Committee name is Shantanam Committee. Shantanam Committee or Shantaram Committee. So 2003 CVC is established. What is the purpose of CVC, sir? What does CVC does, sir? Act and the complaints or disclosure the allegation of corruption or misuse of office from a whistleblower. Meaning, when a government officer is involved in a bribe or a corruption, CVC will try to examine it. Suppose a defense estate service officer is taking bribe. Somebody informed that. A whistleblower informed to CVC. So joint raids will be conducted. CVC, Income Tax, Enforcement Directorate, all of them will come at a time and they'll ask, Madam or Sir, your salary is 18 lakhs per year, but the AC value in your house is just 2 crore, golden AC. So how did you get this golden AC, sir? Please explain to us. So you have to tell how much commission do you want. Negotiation will happen, nothing will happen. After that, settlement is done. So which means, no, there is nothing wrong. We have to prove it. We can show gift from relatives, gift from in-laws, gift from spouses, not spouses, spouse only. So if you look at, which means there is nothing wrong in having more wealth. We just need to produce corresponding documents to them that we have this much. So a person's monthly salary is 1 lakh, but he is buying a Porsche car and Bentley car. So he is working very honestly. So Central Vigilance Commission will ask, Madam or Sir, disproportionate asset case is filed on you. Please explain to us how you are working. See, just because more balance is there in the account, it's not a black money. Unless we don't have proof of the income and tax is paid. So accordingly we have to prove. That is called as Central Vigilance Commission. Then there is one more called as NDMA, National Disaster Management Agency. So what is disaster? After writing the exam, we will understand on the day of the exam what is disaster. No, it should not be disaster. It should be a super success. I mean, our preparation. Correct only? So what is tsunami? When you clear the prelims, what comes is tsunami. So what is earthquake? After clearing mains, what comes is called as earthquake. Correct? So what is national disaster? Finally our roll number is there. No. No. Which means unexpected act of God. Unexpected act of God. Invisible hand. True. I mean, it should not happen at all. So National Disaster Management Authority is created in 2005, which is actually looking up the concept of disaster mitigation strategies. Disaster mitigation strategies. Landslide occurred, Kerala. So rescue operations, all that. NDRF, you keep hearing the word NDRF. So that is called as NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority. Then NIA, what is this NIA, sir? National Investigation Agency. So after 26/11 attack, we understood we need a separate agency which deals especially with security and integrity, especially counter-terrorism operations. Especially counter-terrorism operations. So a separate organization is created which is called as NIA. So NIA can search any premises without the warrant also. Because why, sir? What is the reason? Investigative authority to prevent all other possible, they feel that if something wrong is going to happen, then they can come and search also. Of course, fundamental rights should not be violated. So these are some of non-constitutional bodies, but not much important. So what is the status of Niti Aayog? Constitutional body, statutory body, neither constitutional body nor statutory body. So what is the status? Neither constitutional body nor statutory body. What is the status of Planning Commission? Neither constitutional body nor statutory body. But there was something called NDC, National Development Council, which was created in 1952. It was statutory body. So Planning Commission is neither constitutional body nor statutory body. Chairman is Prime Minister. Niti Aayog is neither constitutional body nor statutory body. Chairman is Prime Minister. NDC, which is the highest approval body for approving 5-year plans. Look at the word. NDC, which is the highest approval body for 5-year plans, which was created in 1952, was a statutory body. Who is the chairman of NDC? Also Prime Minister. So, at present, what is the status of Planning Commission? It is not there. It is already abolished in 2014. Okay? So this is brief idea about constitutional bodies and non-constitutional bodies. And then we'll come to historical background of constitution. How much your time permits. Be careful while reading, especially acts. You need to remember the salient features of the act in historical background, but otherwise easy only, easy topic only. So which means you're supposed to know how the concept of constitutionalism started, how the concept of constitution is drafted. In between, if you feel that all acts are similar like that, what you do, read one act, make important features, give some gap, and then read one more act. So don't read all acts at a time, because it leads to jambalagri bajar mutaye. I mean, if you read all acts at a time, yes, you feel the similar wording is there. That's why what I'm saying, read 1 or 2 acts, give some gap, then read 1 or 2 acts, give some gap, and then try to make a tabular form, highlights, so that you will feel, okay, I can understand. Because if you read all at a time, and don't try to by heart, but try to understand the meaning of the future. If you look at Diwani rights, what are Diwani rights? British was granted Diwani rights. What's meaning of this Diwani rights? Battle of Buxar. Correct only? Battle of Buxar? Yes. 1764, Battle of Buxar. Diwani rights. Then if you look at overview in India, when British came to India, they came for purely for trade purpose and they came for spices. But they understood that there is no unity among the Indians, and in any war, whatever you studied in history, British never defeated Indians. Indians only defeated Indians. Indians only defeated Indians. Because that is our Indian psychology. What is Indian psychology? Results రాగానే మీ రోల్ నెంబర్ చెక్ చేయట్లేదు, ఫ్రెండ్ రోల్ నెంబర్ ఫస్ట్ చెక్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఎందుకు? పొరపాటున సెలెక్ట్ అయితే ఫ్రెండ్ వదిలేసి వెళ్ళిపోతే మన పరిస్థితి ఏంటి? ఫస్ట్ మన రోల్ నెంబర్ చెక్ చేసాం, అమ్మయ్య సెలెక్ట్ అవ్వలేదు. నెక్స్ట్ ఇమీడియట్లీ వీఆర్ చెకింగ్ ఫ్రెండ్ నంబర్. ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్లీ ఫ్రెండ్ గాట్ సెలెక్టెడ్. అవుట్ సైడ్ హార్టీ కంగ్రాచులేషన్స్. ఇన్సైడ్ నువ్వు ఎప్పుడు చదివావు నాకు తెలియకుండా. వాట్ ఈజ్ ఇండియన్ సైకాలజీ? Unfortunately, in any war that you study, the Indians only invited the British and told them how to win the war. whatever you studied almost. So in the process, what happened? The traders who came to India became the rulers. The traders who came to India became the rulers. They understood real power is economic power. You can control any power with the economic power. So they understood whoever control the trade route, they'll become the rulers of the world. That's why they control the trade route. They became the rulers of the world. The country of the cotton was destroyed by the cotton. Country of the cotton was destroyed by the cotton. Radhabai Nauroji, exploitation of wealth. So drain of wealth. British are dipping the sponge in the Ganges and they are squeezing it in the Thames. London is located in the banks of Thames River. Ganga Nadilo Munchi akkada velestunaru. Meaning British are using India as a colony which just supplies raw materials. They killed traditional Indian agrarian classes. They disturbed Indian traditional village. They killed Indian handicrafts. They deindustrialized India. They just made India into a colony which supplies raw materials. So in the process, so many acts are brought in. So we need to briefly understand. So Regulating Act of 1773. So if you look at the word, Regulating Act of 1773. So if you look at, only highlights I'll cover. Governor General of Bengal. A post was created called Governor General of Bengal. So who was the first Governor General of Bengal? Warren Hastings. We'll study in history. First Governor General of Bengal was Warren Hastings. Correct? Again, beginning of the central administration, which means governors of Madras and Bombay were made subordinates to Governor General of Bengal, which means from Bengal only administration was controlled through centrally. So Governor General of Bengal and Governor General of Madras, Governor General of Bombay were subordinated to Governor General of Bengal. So central administration started. Apart from that, first Supreme Court in India was established at Fort Williams. First Supreme Court in India was established at Fort Williams, 1774. What is Fort Williams? Where it is located? But minimal powers were given. At the time, full powers were not given. Minimal powers were given. So this is highlight of Regulating Act of 1773. Then Pitt's India Act 1784. So Pitt's India Act 1784. Look at the word. Pitt's India Act. In Pitt's India Act 1784, some of the highlights we are supposed to remember. Dual system of government was introduced. What is dual system of government, sir? Board of Control and Court of Directors. So who is this Board of Control, sir? Board of Control is for political functions. Court of Directors for commercial functions. So if you look at BOD or BOC, it's called as dual system. Power was not concentrated in the only one. It was distributed between the two. One is called as, look at the word. In the East India Company, when they were talking about this, Board of Control, BOC, they created this. So BOC will look after what type of issues? Most of them, it is political function. Political functions are separated. And Court of Directors, what do they look at? They look at for mostly commercial, meaning business aspects. So separation started. That's why the word is called as dual. Again, during this description of this act only, the British companies' territories actually were referred as British possessions in India. Which means whatever territories which were under control of the British, they started using the word British possessions in India. Meaning by this time, some of the territories were directly under control of the British, that they were referring it as British possessions in India. Then Charter Act of 1813. So in Charter Act of 1813, you'll understand that monopoly of East India Company was ended except in tea and opium. Tea and opium. Of course, if you look at around 1 lakh rupees is allocated for promotion of education among the natives. So many committees will study regarding education. They will understand Wood's Dispatch, Lord Macaulay, remember? So during that, Charter Act of 1813, look at the word. Charter Act of 1813 ended monopoly. Except tea and opium, of whom? East India Company. What does it mean? Not only they, other companies also can trade. Again, allocation of annual sum of 1 lakh for the promotion of education among the natives. So 1 lakh fund is allocated for promoting education. This is called as major highlights of Charter Act of 1813. And Charter Act of 1833. So if you look at, this is 1813 and 1833 we are talking about. Look at the time frame. All this we are talking about before only. Meaning we are talking about 1857 revolt or before 1857 revolt? Before 1857 revolt. Why, sir? After that crown rule started. So that's the reason why we are looking at Charter Act 1833. What is there in Charter Act of 1833, sir? See, they are taking steps towards centralization where Governor of General of Bengal designation was changed as Governor General of India. Charter Act of 1833, centralization started. Governor General of Bengal was designated as Governor General of India. So powers are concentrated in the hands of Governor General of India. Centralization of the power started. Who was the first Governor General of India? William Bentinck. So Governor General of Bengal was designated as Governor General of India. The concept of centralization started. Also, this Charter Act of 1833 is also called as Saint Helena Act. Other name for this, Saint Helena Act also. So Charter Act of 1833 is also called as Saint Helena Act. One more word. But if you look at Law Commission under Lord Macaulay was appointed under Charter Act of 1833 only. Law Commission. Lord Macaulay. Lord Macaulay said, we want to introduce English education system in India. English education system in India to make Indians in color but Western in culture. To make Indians in color but Western in culture. What does it mean? Indians should follow Western culture, Western food habits, Western dress habits. Only thing, we cannot change their color. So he was successful also. And again, there is a proposal to introduce a system of women competition for civil services, but it's a failed system. They could not implement at that time. Again, it ended the company's monopoly of trade in tea and trade with China. So this is Charter Act of 1833. Important point to remember is that centralization of administration started. Governor General of Bengal is designated as Governor General of India. Then Charter Act of 1853. After this, Charter Act of 1853. Look at the word time frame. Before 1857 revolt only we are talking about. For the first time, legislative executive powers of Governor General's Council were separated. Meaning, the concept of parliamentary system started with this Charter Act of 1853. What is the meaning of concept of parliamentary system? Separation of the powers. So what happened in Charter Act of 1853, sir? Governor General's Council, if you look at, legislative executive powers of the Governor General Councils were separated. Meaning under Governor General there was a council for which legislative powers are separated, executive powers are separated. Separation of the powers is the symbol of parliamentary system. Now the reason why the concept of the parliamentary system originated in Charter Act of 1853 when Governor General Council's powers got separated for legislative and executive. Again, Indians were allowed in covenanted civil services. Started? Indians were allowed in covenanted civil services. It introduced for the first time local representation in the Indian Central Legislative Council. Look at the word. Local representation, meaning of Indians in Central Legislative Council for the first time. So all this happened before 1857 revolt, which is generally referred as Company's rule. East India Company's rule only from 1773 onwards almost. When East India Company was established? 1600? I think so, 1600. So when did they get Diwani rights? 1765? 1765? 1764 after Battle of Buxar. From then till 1857 revolt. So India was under whose rule? Company's rule. So from 1858 to 1947, almost if you look at, we were under Crown rule. So if you look at 1858 revolt, refer to history, and already history is over. I assume that already you know 1857 revolt. So Government of India Act 1858. So what is this Government of India Act 1858 says? Don't worry, I'll just cover only highlights only. So after the revolt of 1857, if you look at, it transferred the Government of India from Company to British Crown. That's the reason why directly Crown rule started in India. But till 1857, it was under possession of East India Company. So from 1858 onwards, the territory, or you can say, Government of India, the territory, East India Company's territory was transferred to British Crown. Means it became directly under rule of British Crown. An important point, Governor General of India was designated as Viceroy of India. Governor General of India was designated as Viceroy. So remember the word. Who is the first Viceroy? Lord Canning. Lord Canning is the first Viceroy. Remember, first Governor General of Bengal was Warren Hastings. First Governor General of India was, first Viceroy of India was Lord Canning. Lord Canning. And if you look at, it abolished BOC and COD and ended dual system. Earlier dual system was introduced, Board of Control and Court of Directors. So it ended the dual system. SOS was introduced. What is SOS? Secretary of State. So these are highlights of Government of India Act 1858. And then coming to Indian Council Act 1909. So if you look at, what is this Indian Council Act 1909, sir? Marley-Minto reforms? Marley-Minto reforms only? So if you look at Indian Council of Act, properly called as Marley-Minto reforms. Now they increase the size of central and provincial, of course, Legislative Council. And one point to remember in Indian Council Act of 1909 is separate electorate for Muslims. Separate electorate for Muslims. What is the meaning of separate electorate for Muslims? Other people will elect their own member, but Muslims alone will separately elect their own elected representative. What is the purpose of, what is the logic of introducing this? To divide and rule policy. To implement divide and rule policy, that is the reason why separate electorate for Muslims was introduced. Satyendra Prasad Sinha was the first Indian in Executive Council. Satyendra Prasad Sinha was the first Indian to be in Executive Council. But if you look at, point remember for exam purposes, separate electoral for Muslims was introduced in Indian Council Act of 1909. And cut short the story, 1919 Government of India Act. So 2 points to remember in this important futures for exam purpose. Government of India Act 1919, Montague-Chelmsford reforms only. Montague-Chelmsford reforms. So introduction of responsible government. Introduction of responsible government. What's the meaning of responsible government? They are supposed to tell the public accountability of the funds. That's why that is called as responsible government. Besides, diarchy was introduced. What is the meaning of diarchy, sir? Provincial level. Provincial level means now we are calling it as states. At that time they were calling it as province. So division into transferred subject and reserved subject, that is called as diarchy. So diarchy was introduced in provincial levels. Diarchy means separation into two. Province means state level, and the subjects of the powers got divided into two. What are those subjects? Transferred subjects, reserved subject. The division only is called as diarchy. So transferred subject, reserved subject. So look at the time frame we are talking about. Still we are talking about, see, try to correlate them with national movement time frame. Try to correlate the act with India's national freedom movement time frame. Then you will get the logic why this act is brought in at that point of time. So apart from that, in Government of India Act 1919, bicameralism at center was introduced. What do you mean of bicameralism, sir? Yes, at center. Bicameralism at center was introduced as part of this act. Now besides, if you look at 1919, extended communal representation to 6 Indians, Christians, Anglo-Indians and Europeans. Trap in the prelims is, separate electorate for Muslims was introduced in 1909. Separate communal electorate for all the communities is introduced in 1919. Did you understand the difference? Separate electorate for Muslims is introduced in 1909, but separate electorate for overall, for whom separate electorate was introduced? Look at the word. 6 also, Christians also, Anglo-Indians also, Europeans also. In 1919. That's the difference between separate electorate for Muslims, 1909, separate electorate for 6 Christians, Anglo-Indians and Europeans. Provided for establishment of Public Service Commission. Provided for establishment of Public Service Commission. And finally, Government of India Act 1935. So majority of the provisions that we borrowed are taken from where? Government of India Act 1935. So in Government of India Act 1935, federal, provincial, concurrent, separation of powers were 3. Apart from that, it abolished diarchy at provincial level, bicameralism at provincial level also, extended communal representation, depressed classes, women labor, establishment of RBA, federal court, all this. Because time frame, Government of India Act 1935. Then finally, 1947, India's Independence Act. If you look at, abolish the office of Viceroy and Secretary of State, because there is no need Secretary of State, there is no need of Viceroy, because we are giving independence to Indian Dominion. Clement Attlee, British Prime Minister, announced, we want to provide independence to India. They sent Sir Ronald Radcliffe, who came to India, and he prepared a map. One became India, one became Pakistan. The international official borderline is called as Radcliffe Line. So Radcliffe said, I came to India to divide in a scientific manner, but I acted like a butcher. Which means just he has drawn a line, something became India, something became Pakistan. Pakistan occupied, and then POK, there is an agreement between India and Pakistan, according to which transit boundary line is called as LOC, line of control, Shimla agreement, all that. Then the idea of Constituent Assembly was first put forward by M.N. Roy uncle. Who is M.N. Roy? Manavendra Nath Roy. Again, if you look at 1935, for the first time, INC. What is INC? Indian National Congress asked for Constituent Assembly. August offer 1940, the demand of Constituent Assembly was accepted in principle. Look at the word. Accepted in principle. We did not create, but in principle they accepted. Again, Cripps proposal. Who is Cripps proposal? Over the part of Cripps members also. Stafford Cripps, A.V. Alexander, P.W. Lawrence are the members of Cripps. 1942. Accepted demand of Constituent Assembly, but Muslim League rejected this. Again, Cabinet Mission. Cabinet Mission told that, come on, a scheme for Constituent Assembly which more or less satisfied the Muslim League Constituent Assembly was constituted under Cabinet Mission Plan in 1946. 2 years, 11 months, 18 days. It was taken to complete cut copy paste the constitution, not cut copy paste, be modified. So 9th December 1946, first meeting Constituent Assembly. 9th December 1946, first meeting of Constituent Assembly. Dr. Sachidananda Sinha was the president, oldest member, based on French model. Then Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as president, and H.C. Mukherjee was vice president. Constituent Assembly was made a fully sovereign body. It also worked as a legislative body. Yes. When it was functioning as a legislative body, G.V. Magulankar was the chairman. When it was functioning as Constituent Assembly sovereign body for drafting, Rajendra Prasad was the president. Again, 26th November 1949, we the people of India solemnly resolve ourselves, hereby enact and adopt. January 26, 1950. What is the reason for January 26th? Lahore session 1930. Purna Swaraj was celebrated on January 26, 1930 in Lahore session. That's the reason why January 26, 1950. So originally, Preamble, 395 articles, 8 schedules were there. Originally, Preamble, 395 articles and 8 schedules were there. But right now, how many are there? So how many schedules are there? Now, a question came in prelims. Constituent Assembly is partly nominated and partly elected. Partly nominated and partly elected. Correct? See, princely states nomination, remaining territory election. So total strength was 389, but again it got reduced to, so if you look at 296 and 93, but which of the following statements are correct? Constituent Assembly was initially formed which consists of members from India as well as undivided Pakistan. Because in which year Constituent Assembly was constituted? In 1946. Yes? But by the time Constituent Assembly adopted Indian Constitution, the members who were from Pakistan, what happened? Partition happened already. So Constituent Assembly was formulated in 1946, but later, obviously, because of partition and partition horrors, so only the members from Indian territory only accepted it. Again, finally, Mahatma Gandhi was not member of Constituent Assembly. Yes? Apart from that, some committees were there. Drafting committee was headed by D.R. Ambedkar, and drafting committee other members also, Iyengar, Iyer, Munshi, S.M. Sadullah, then Jawaharlal Nehru, Union Powers Committee, so Union Constitution Committee, Jawaharlal Nehru, so States Committee, Jawaharlal Nehru, all that. Subcommittees also, factual data only, not much. So if you look at advisory committees also. So read at the end, mostly the concept of drafting of the constitution. So don't worry, already you are hungry, you are hangry also. But one of the previous prelims question. Supreme Court at Calcutta was established in 1774. 1774. Yes. Under which act? Regulating Act of 1773. Already we covered earlier also. Then one more question was asked in prelims. Spread of Western education. Spread of Western education was started with announcing 1 lakh rupee for education in native India. Under which act? Charter Act 1813. Charter Act 1813. So apart from that, so if you look at one more previous prelims question that was asked, first Viceroy of India was Lord Canning. First Governor General of India was, again, so if you look at overall, Government of India Act 1935 introduced provincial autonomy and abolished diarchy in the provinces. Government of India Act 1935 abolished diarchy in the provinces and introduced provincial autonomy. Direct question only. From the act itself they picked the word. Again, if you look at, finally, in overall, they are just asking, Indian Constitution adopted majority of this feature from Government of India Act 1935. And Constituent Assembly members are partly elected, partly nominated. When Constituent Assembly was adopted or when Constituent Assembly was started, it was for undivided India. Yes, 1946 we are talking about. Yes, based on which mission Constituent Assembly was started? Cabinet mission plan only. So this is brief idea. So with that we completed almost all. We started with the Preamble, DPSPs, fundamental duties, then fundamental rights, Parliament, Judiciary, then President, Governor, Executive, after that local governance. After local governance we covered amendment procedure, official language. So just now we talked about constitutional bodies, non-constitutional bodies, and historical background at the end. But main three chapters for prelims are Parliament, fundamental rights, and executive. Main three chapters: Parliament, fundamental rights, and executive. Most of the questions are from these three chapters only. So what you have to do, sir? Try to solve previous prelims questions immediately. Exam is there, very good. But suppose you read a fundamental rights chapter, immediately try to solve previous prelims questions from fundamental rights. Suppose you read executive, immediately try to solve previous prelims questions from executive. And when you're reading current affairs, last 1 year polity current affairs also you have to interlink along with the static part. So that most of the questions in polity are very easy. If you have read once, if you have revised once, you will be able to answer the questions before the exam, not after the exam. If you have read once, if you have revised once, you will be able to answer most of the polity questions except factual data. And should we remember all articles? Not required. Only obvious. Nobody will remember also. But try to solve previous prelims questions as much as possible. Okay? Anyway, thank you for acting for all these days. As if listening. Anyway, nice acting. So I hope some value addition happened to your preparation. Some consolidation also happened. Some revision also happened. So now what you have to do, whenever you are free, just go through and then try to solve the previous questions. Okay? So hopefully we should come back again for rapid revision program for mains also, not for prelims. What are you talking, sir? Hopefully, yes. Okay? Thank you. So I told you my Telegram ID. You can tell among your friends also. So already following. Good. So topic wise, folder wise current affairs are listed out. Polity, economy, geography. But if you are giving this year attempt, I told you already, Prelim themes 2025. Look at that folder. PDFs are available there. So short notes also. Don't worry, polity short notes also will be posted in Telegram group. So you can download. Okay? Thank you.